everyone, welcome to Sallay TV. My name is Sallay. I would like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to get any notification and new uploads of any videos that I might upload on a weekly basis. For notifications, make sure you check off on the bell so that you can get notifications on your YouTube. So make sure first you subscribe, that way you can get any new updates from my channel. Thank you. Hi everyone, welcome to Sallay TV. It is me, your girl Sallay. Welcome. Today I have a special guest, as you can see over here. She's a very beautiful lady. She's a very close friend of mine, and I'm gonna have her do her own introduction, introduce herself, and tell us who she is. And yeah, why don't you say hi to my guest?
Hi everyone, my name is Sylvia Kagiri. I am a sister. I am a daughter to someone very special to me. Her name is Margaret Kagiri. And yeah.
Okay. Well, can I ask you a simple question?
Yeah.
Very simple. Are you married?
No, I'm not. I am a single lady.
Okay.
I'm just working through the phases of career building and getting my nests in order, as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you have any kids?
No, I don't have.
Okay.
Yeah.
But someday you will.
Yeah, eventually, definitely. I have to be working hard and making sure all this I leave it to my next generation.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
I have another question for you.
Uh-huh.
What do you do for a living? I mean, who is Sylvia Kagiri?
Who is Sylvia? Sylvia is a very hard working woman. I just recently retired, or I would say quit from working for an organization, which is the Criminal Justice Department of Justice in Texas. And then I am now headed towards self-employment. I am in a place where I'm involved in healthcare employment, as I'm going to be providing, employment for, my next
Job.
yeah.
Okay. And what do you do for a living? You didn't tell us.
Oh,
what
sorry.
You do for a living.
So it's okay. Okay. So where I am the position I am right now, I'm waiting on a few things to be straightened up. I'm doing healthcare, which is adult care home. My house there's a certain way it has to be built and corrected. That's where it is right now. Because since it's a new structure, there were some things that were supposed to go with the municipal. So we had a few things happening within the course of this year that have affected the whole thing. So that's why we're not yet running, but everything is in order. I'd say so.
Where are you? Like, where
I'm
do you live,
in
or
Portland,
where's this
Oregon.
business?
Hey. I'm in Portland, Oregon. I came from Texas, and before that, I had just come from Boston. So I would say I've been there a little bit here and there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who are you as a person? Like,
Well, I'm a jack of all trades. I'll say that.
so you can do everything there.
A little bit, not everything. I'm not a superhero. I can sing, I can act, and here to here, I like dancing. Here and there. You should know this.
I know. I'm asking for you.
Exactly.
That's
So I've done a little bit of acting back in Kenya. Because of everything, I had to move out here. I think I would have done more, but we had to move here 2012. And then in that process, most of my music that I had written then, I couldn't produce them then because of moving. But then 2017, 16, 18, 2018, I gave out my first song, and it was Emmanuel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good. And what type of artist would you call yourself, or would you classify yourself as? Without any boxes put in place, what would you call yourself?
I would say a contemporary kind of person. The reason why I'm saying that, when I came here in Texas first, I met a doctrine that was there before from where I came from. There was a church that I could not just get in as a choir, yet they knew each other as pastors. Right. They hand over their children. And I told them where I was going, and they actually received me. But then there was a structural thing that I was supposed to do for me to get into their program. Right. And in that process, it took me a little bit longer than I expected to be in the choir. And in that process as well, I also got a job, and I had to move to another small town. So I think I've adjusted with the fact that I've moved a lot. And in that process, there was hardships. those hardships kind of affected my music world. So I faced two phases of world. I seen the Christian, which there's a box, and the other side of the world where they practically believe that they love God, but then their actions,
Yeah, it carries different.
exactly.
Right. I mean, that's true. I mean, what kind of hardships as an artist did you face? I mean, like you can go into further depth.
Okay, so like I said, I came from a doctrine of church as a choir leader, praise and worship. I actually back up in most churches in Boston, and then the hardships were more of rejection because now they know you, as a singer in church, so that they do not expect you to be doing the things that they're doing. Now, I'm not saying I got myself involved, but I'll say that there were things that I saw, and I was like, wait, what if I could do this way? The styles that they were doing, what if I could bring it into the Christianity? Because remember, church was more of an organization. You had to go through this, samotaratara, that's how they say it. There's a way of living in Christianity, but I've lived to a place where I'm now breaking
those barriers.
Yes, those small barriers that affected my music world and where I was headed as a vision I saw in my music world. They were affected by the small boxes that I met along my way.
And do you still see those small boxes until even right now where you are? Do you still see like people try to put you in those small boxes and you face the same almost kind of hardships?
Yes, I've faced that actually. I've faced I'll say one of the boxes is trying to fit in an environment where you have to be a certain girl to look a certain way for you to fit in that world, and it has caused a lot of rejection. And in that process, I learned to love God more.
Yeah.
He says, believe in me and come to me in all situations. I came to him in those situations, and he taught me how to lean on him. And in that process, I became more closer to God, and there were some things that he fought for me. He taught me. He was going ahead of me. He says the battle belongs to him.
Yeah.
So those battles that I faced, he was fighting for me. So today I can say that I faced them. No, I feel like they're there. I'll tell you that because I meet along and I see them, but they do not affect me like way back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I understand you. Through those hardships. I mean, if you haven't heard her first song, I mean, can you describe to us through those hardships? I know, like we've talked about this before, and can you explain to me why you chose it to be your first song to ever release, and what have you gotten from that ever since you exposed yourself as this is me, this is my song, and this is how it's placed me to where I am.
Okay, a little background about the song. It's about Emmanuel. The song itself is Emmanuel. Go to YouTube, Sylvia Kagiri, you'll see it there.
What does Emmanuel mean?
Emmanuel actually means God with us.
Okay.
So me with the hardships that I met along the way, I became more closer to God, and I created my relationship with him. Okay. So he was more closer to me than the human people that I called friends, family. And just from right there, I knew this is it. This is where I will start my song. I'll say that he has been God indeed. Also with the fact that I had my life itself coming into action, I got a very weird job working in prison. It was a very solitude place, and it broke me down. I won't lie to you. It humbled me. Prison job. That place, they call it prison job, but I'll tell you this, it's a good job for somebody who's trying to figure out who they want to be.
Right.
And it was a government job, so it was good at one point, but then it was bad socially. Because you're literally like a prisoner when you're working there. Your life kind of stops. You gotta keep up to the standards of what they offer you. And so it was more of a ball game. Everything just worked within itself, and it gave birth to this rejection that I felt. And as I was rejected of the world, I grew more closer to God. And Emmanuel, actually, I realized that God protected me. There's some things that he was protecting me from. And I started writing. I said, you know what? He's been Emmanuel, Karibu Nami. I'm going to go with him. until where this journey goes. So the other songs could not make sense. This one made sense because of the experience that I had here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you haven't seen a song, I will put a link on the bottom of my YouTube episode for today with her, and you will be able to go onto her channel and be able to see her song. So also make sure you subscribe to her channel and give her support. We're not
Yes,
just going to view,
please.
but just make sure you give her, a thumbs up, and also subscribe to her channel and encourage, because we're best friends. So we are supporting
push each
one
other.
another. We push each other.
Yeah.
If someone is falling behind, she'll come and kick me and push me forward.
Yeah.
So I mean, I am absolutely happy for you.
Thank you
Trust
so
me,
much.
and keep the good work for
Yeah.
yourself going on. I mean, I have a couple more questions that we'll get to,
go ahead.
and then we'll end this. So I mean, if someone was in the shoes that you were in, like let's say, let me put it in a better way. What can you tell someone, or an artist that's coming out or going through the same hardships that you went through, rejection, no support, or like having friends that are not really there for you, or having nobody, or people putting you in a box? How can you tell them, you know what, don't give up, do continue on? Like, what words coming from you? Not from me, because I've not experienced what you experienced.
Yeah. What I would say is that first of all, you are the vision drawer. You drew that vision. This is what you want. So you do not listen to the negative. You take the negative, you turn it around as we say gas, your energy.
Your lighter.
Exactly. And you push yourself to what you want. Now I'll tell you this. Yes, there'll be times you want to give up so bad. But don't look at that. Wake up and realize that you are the drawer. You sat down with yourself and you say, this is what you want. There's so many sayings that are out there that says, don't let anything put you down. Don't let things hold you down to a point where you don't get to your dreams. The sky is the limit. Be that sky. Get to that sky if it gets to that point. The main thing is that don't allow things to affect you, because I think I listened to people that said it is impossible to be an artist. They looked at me, they said, you're more of a business lady, you're more of a fighter, praise and worship kind of lady. They mentioned things, and with time, with time, those things, they actually root themselves. They say the tongue is very poisonous.
Yes.
And it's true. It can either kill you or give you life, right?
Exactly.
So I did not listen to that. I listened to one person who was very, very close to me, and that's why I said she's very special to me. That's my mom. She kept installing in me life. When a mother speaks, she speaks life in you. I kept my relationship with her, even with distance here and there. She kept reminding me that you're not just a worshiper, you're also a singer. Your voice will bring life, and it kept me moving. It kept me motivated. I started shutting down people that meant important to me. I realized they were saying some things, and they kept me down for a reason. So I stopped listening to them and started listening to the right people, which was my family. Most of it, I would say, sometimes they even get to my last name. I'm telling you, my small brother, he will get on my last name and say, you are not going to sing, but at the end of the day, I want you to sing. So I'm like, oh, what were you trying to say? They have put me in positions where they want to juggle me. They say all good happen at home. Everything starts at home. So my family was my first foundation. They shook me to a point where I had to dust off and get out. And every time I went hit by the world, I did not listen. I remembered the words of my mom and people that were positive around me, and I pushed through. So don't listen to people who say things that would limit you. Be careful of such people. That's what I would say.
I mean, a lot of us, even that point blank, a lot of us face that. Even it could be your most closest person. And when she says, like, even her family, her brother, same here. They're the ones to push us, and they're the ones to pull us back.
It's true.
And it's so funny how you get that in such a family dynamic, because they're the closest to you.
That's right.
Those words mean the most. But anybody else outside, it does not matter. You live your life the way you want to.
Very true.
And never regret anything. Me, I always say, like, if you want to be a musician, you want to be an artist, don't worry. I even was telling her earlier, why are you worried about other people? Like, just do you.
I know, and it's, it's funny that it comes in when you're not least expecting.
Exactly.
You're like, oh my God, what are they gonna say? They're the same
Exactly.
people that you listen to. What
Yeah.
are they gonna say? But then that thing, the what if they're what are they saying?
Those
That's the thing that actually limits you, because
Yeah.
you're scared.
Exactly.
What you're that scary moment. The word of God says that we wrestle not body, we also wrestle the spiritual world. Remember, these are the same people that were meant to help you. Now they're getting used, to affect you. So it's another it's another world that is getting a fight.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's
it's tough.
it's interesting.
Yeah,
I
it's
would
very
say so.
interesting and it's tough. But I mean, if you're out there and you're listening to us,
Yeah.
don't give up. Don't
Trust me, it's
and
worth
yeah,
the fight.
you are your biggest investment. So there's nobody like the same. Like I always say, when you die and you go to see face God, you're doing it alone. Nobody's there with
Exactly,
you.
and you came in on that alone.
Exactly. So live the best way you can, and please subscribe to her channel, watch her video because she has more music coming. Oh, I have a secret for you guys. Sorry. We're gonna talk about this real quick. We're gonna get comfortable. So Sylvia,
Yeah.
you guys might not know, like if you might not know Sylvia personally, she does have a secret nickname. Can you tell us what your secret nickname
I didn't
is?
expect that.
Oh, come on. You're gonna tell us.
Okay, I will tell them.
Okay.
The name Nikki Sylvia
Where did it come from?
It came from 2012. No, 2010. 2010.
Okay.
I just come from high school, and I realized when I'm in public, remember I was going through things and I was growing up. The hardships are still there, and I would escape mentally.
Yeah. So you had a different
I
persona.
had a different persona, which was the other person. I realized, wait, I actually do escape. Where do I go? And the name Nikki was born. She's the playful kind of person. Emulating, I used to love radio presenters. I loved Nikki Mwanyigia. I hope she ever gets to see this, but she was my idol. Kenya. And I looked at her when I would listen to her voice every morning, Kiss 100, and I would listen to her voice. She was very articulate, very sweet. People like Kalecheche Momo, I wanted that. I wanted to be that girl. They had a commanding voice. Akina Caroline Mutuku. And I listened to that, and I was practicing on my mirror. And I realized, oh my God, I have a voice. So I copied the name Nikki from her, Nikki Mwanyigia, and I called myself Nikki Sylvia, And from there, I remember my first camera, behind the camera, was in 2010 when I finished high school. I got myself involved in an acting actually, and I acted a movie called Tan Coats. And
Google that if you got the time.
I don't think it's out there like that because that was way down in years.
Okay.
And I acted the movie, and from there it was Project My Music. But then here comes America, so yeah.
That's true. I mean, now you guys know something. If you do see Sylvia somewhere and you're like, Sylvia was hard to remember. Nikki, you can also call her Nikki. So
it's actually simpler, actually.
Yeah, it's really
and the funny thing is that people say, "Oh, you're too playful." That's where the Nikki comes in. So if you see me there being playful, know that you're dealing with Nikki,
which is fine. I mean, we love that. I mean, everybody needs to have a brighter side to everything. So I mean, so Sylvia, thank you for letting us know about that secret. What's one thing you can tell my viewers before we leave? We have another question before we leave, but what's one thing you can tell them about yourself? Something that I don't know.
I think with you, I don't think you know me too much.
I do.
Yeah. I think I am very loving, I would say so, and that affects me one way or another. But I'm also so playful. Sometimes I ask myself, am I still grown? I play too much, I would say. And that in that moment of playing too much, so many things come out of me. I'm just still exploring who I am. But I'll say this, having two parts of my life, which is the career, which is music, and also as a professional lady that I am, I think God has been graceful and sufficient for me. I'm comfortable with who I am now.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. I mean, that's great. I mean, I love her for who she is.
Oh my God.
I would never change her for who
I love you too, boo boo.
Yes. The last thing I'll ask you before we close this chapter is, where do you see yourself in like 5 years in the future, near future, like in your music career, in being an artist? Where do you see yourself?
First of all, I would say I'm not expecting people to put a gap on time, because times and seasons belongs to God. Right. I may say that I want this in a couple 5 years, then something else happens. Right. Remember, I'm also a woman that is transitioning, right, from being a girl to a mother to a wife to somebody. So with that coming in my life, I'm sure there will be family. I believe in that. Yeah. God is faithful. He tells us, come to me in every situation, and he will give us, he will answer our prayers. So as I'm working towards that, I'm praying for a family which will come into effect. I'm also praying that my business will flourish. We in America, anything is possible. And also my music, while I'm expecting more and more content to come out, I have another song coming out by at least before the end of this year, 2020. There should be another song coming out, which we're working hand in hand with my producer and my coordinators, and we're trying to get it out. So many things has been happening, and it's affected everything. I mean, COVID changed everything, to be honest. So there was some certain time limits that were put on some things that we were trying to record, and some features, and that has affected us in terms of production. But we are trusting in God for newer, things to progress as soon as possible. Yeah, so I think we're just gonna wait for the outcome
future,
of it.
yeah.
Yeah, just walk with Jesus, Yeah.
That's true. Well, thank you so much, Sylvia.
You're very welcome.
I really appreciate you coming out here. I mean, if there's something you might not know, what I've always called a best friend is someone I can call on in the middle of the night, cry to.
Oh my God,
She will
yes.
pray with me. There was even one time I was stuck in her house. Well, I wasn't stuck. I went to sleep over, and we prayed. And I told her, because me and her are spiritual. We are both from a Christian background, so it happens that we were praying together, and I saw something, and I told her, "Hey, your prayer, God answered your prayer because I see it."
Yeah.
So it's all in all. Thank you for coming. If you have not subscribed yet, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to her channel, and support us. Thank you for watching Sallay TV.
Have a blessed time.
Thank you.